Frank, how you doing tonight, man?
Killer, what's going on?
I'm doing all right. Now, listen, you got in touch with me. You have been paying attention to the George Nader thing as well. Of course, you have a background that is very interesting, and predators like George Nader are your specialty as far as sniffing them out and hunting them down. What's on your mind tonight? I can't imagine it's anything far from that subject.
Well, first off, if you're going to talk to my twin brother, I'm very glad you took my call. Jim, I know you're still listening, Jim. Great joke.
Oh, why? Oh, he had a joke that he was going to.
Yeah, that was my brother. That was my brother you were talking to.
Oh, Jim lives in Maine?
Jim from Maine was originally Jim from Jersey, my twin brother.
I was wondering why this guy from Maine had such a local accent, had such a local feel to him. I said, all right, well, who knows what it is? All right, Jim, then Frank. All right, give it to me, man.
No, well, I'm glad you talked about the Nader thing, but I just don't understand. I mean, I watch your show, almost every night, and you could be talking about, any topic. You could be talking about, the invention of pizza, and you'll get calls about pedophilia.
Yeah.
And then this guy gets nabbed, and nobody's talking about him. People have no understanding of how big this is a player. This isn't like Lamar Alexander's, chief of staff who got caught with that violent porn, from the Asimov films, that Canadian company, and he committed suicide. And this guy was a protected player. He was protected in the 80s. They botched that case, which is why he was set free. I remember him because I didn't get started till the end of that Nebraska mess, so let's say around 1990. And I remember when he got picked up overseas, and they cut him a break there. So you're like, you say to yourself, "Wow, this guy, he's one of the he's an untouchable." He's worked with every White House since like 1986, all the way forward. You have Obama's White House counsel is his attorney. What's her name? Oh my goodness, I can't remember her name. Anyway, she's there the whole time. She's the one that's this guy's attorney. I mean, everybody forgets what was going on. So this guy gets picked up in 85, right, is when they botched it. Everybody forgets what was going on in 85 when he got picked up. Do you mind if I read you a couple of paragraphs? Okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll try and make it as fast as I can. Now, this is way back in the day, before cell phones, before computers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. And it kind of ties into the thing too, right?
You got too far away. You got to get back. You got to get closer to the phone again.
Okay, I'm sorry. A homosexual prostitution ring is under investigation by federal and district authorities and includes, among its clients, key officials of the Reagan and Bush administration, military officials, congressional aides, and U.S. and foreign businessmen with close social ties to Washington political elites. Reporters for this newspaper examined hundreds of credit card vouchers drawn on both corporate and personal cards and made payable to the escort service operated by the homosexual ring. That was the front page of the Washington Times in 1989.
Is this the Franklin cover-up?
No. Well, this tied in. What happened was Craig Spence, who was running this operation in Washington, D.C., he got outed in this article. The last name of the reporter was Rodriguez. These idiots were paying with their credit cards that midnight tour of the White House, some of those kids were underage. This was the front page of the Washington Times in 1989. This guy ran in those circles. Now, to tie this into what you're saying, what could be coming down the line, with these deep fakes, you scroll down the article a little bit, and what it says at the end, In addition to the credit card fraud, the investigation is said to be focused on illegal interstate prostitution, abduction, use of minors for sexual perversion, extortion, larceny, and related illicit drug trafficking and use by prostitutes and their clients. Operators of the ring told the Times that videotapes, audio tapes, still photography were made of sex acts performed by the clients and the call boys. Emphasis on boys. They blackmailed them. Craig Spence said it was a CIA-run operation, that you had a who's who in the 80s having sex with kids, and the CIA was setting up hotel rooms. Craig Spence would procure the kids. Some of the kids, now the Nebraska thing, that's where that ties in, because Larry King, not the guy from TV, this is Lawrence E. King, was flying some of the boys from Boys Town to Embassy Row to be part of this ring with Craig Spence, and they were blackmailing politicians, military leaders. This isn't some, crazy website, some off-the-wall thing. This was the front page of the Washington Times. It was a whole series of articles. And when Rodriguez tried to get the names of the politicians, they said that they were under seal forever because it was a who's who. And this guy was a player. People should be jumping up and down, saying, they've been crying. When will the pedophiles finally be let out in handcuffs? You got one, and you got a sicko to boot.
Wow, Frank.
Anyway.
Well, thanks for listen. First of all, this is why I say you got to call in more often.
I'm sorry for ranting, dude.
That wasn't a rant. That was 6 minutes of very well scripted radio. That was great.
I'm glad you're talking about it, because it's like I thought this was going to be all over the place. It's nowhere. So what? Do I have to send this to Q, and then Q posts it, and then everybody starts talking about it? I mean, my goodness. Well, anyway, Frank, good job. Dude.
You know what? Who knows? Who knows at this point? If there's anybody out there who's got blogs and stuff with circulation, take a highlight of this show, take a highlight of that call, and just put it on out there, because that's huge. Frank, thank you so much for the call. Email me after the show. We'll talk more.
All right, and one message to my brother Jim: you're a half a sissy for moving to Maine. Thanks, Frank.
Half a sissy for moving to Maine. That's it. How do you go to Maine? Then again, I would love to be there right now.